All right, Homeward Bound by Paul Simon, sung by Simon and Garfunkel. And this has a really distinctive beginning, and then it's pretty much just verse, chorus, and then the ending, which basically just repeats the beginning. So to create some variety, I played it in 3 different octaves, and it's a lot of fun. And it also means that you can play whatever octave you want. If you'd rather not switch to one of the other octaves, you can just repeat whichever one you want. So it gives you some flexibility there. Let's start off with this distinctive intro. So it starts off just with open strings, and then so you're hammering on and releasing 2 strings, the G and B, like that. So you just want to practice that. It takes a fair amount of strength and coordination to do the pull-off like that. And that's really key to the whole thing, because it has to be kind of quick before you move on to the rest of it. So, yep. And I'm usually just using my thumb and index to pluck each note, making sure that I cut off the other ones. Okay. Then we're into the main song, and I started just with a bass, just a root 5th here in the bass. We're moving on to the vocal line. And the first verse, the vocal line is pretty quick. So I'm kind of just suggesting it. I'm probably not hitting every note, but I'm suggesting it with a combination of hammer-ons and pull-offs. Sitting in a railway station. Like that. Like, it's pretty quick, not hitting every note, but just suggesting it. And it is good to have the vocal line in your head, because it is such a well-known song. And over the F, this is a pretty dissonant couple notes there, like that, fairly dissonant. So I just focus on the melody, the melody note, that open B, and play the bass note pretty quietly before going on to the E major. Again, just following the vocal line as close as possible. This is also pretty quick here. So that took some practice for me for sure. So you're doing the pull off from the D to the B on the B string. And I usually do a slide there, like there, just with my pinky. The chorus. Again, that there is I call it a hammer-on from nowhere, or some people call it that. I'm playing the open B string and then hammering on the 2nd fret of the G string, and then pulling it off. Definitely takes some practice, but let me just focus just hammering on and pulling off on the A string before adding the open B. B. So it's all one, like that, then repeat for the next part of the chorus. And I usually use my index finger and ring finger here, so I can use my middle finger to go over and play the F on the A string. Again, I'm doing a hammer-on here to suggest the vocal line. Now this is the 2nd verse and jumping down an octave. And as always, when I jump down an octave, I tend to move toward the bridge to make the notes speak out a little clearer. Here too, I would focus more on the melody note, make the bass notes pretty quiet. Keeping in mind that people are going to be listening for that melody. Unison, the D at the 5th fret on the A string and the open D string, so that D keeps ringing before I then go into the chorus. Okay, and the chorus continues down in that octave. And just be careful you cut off the notes in enough time here, especially. You don't want that to ring out too much, to have too much dissonance. Okay, like that. Again, some hammering on this to suggest the vocal line. I'm hammering on the C, on the B string. Okay, now we're jumping up to the top octave. Okay, a whole bit there. You just want to watch your bass string to make sure you cut everything off in time in the second part. And I use a lot of vibrato when I'm up this high just to make sure that everything's in tune. It really helps the intonation to add some vibrato. Now here, instead of going up an octave, which would have been really high for me and probably impossible if you don't have a cutaway, instead I jump down an octave with these harmonics. Phrase like that. Of course, you want to let those ring out as long as possible. Just provide the bed for going on. Okay, and this chorus is the same as the first one. With this, I jumped this up an octave, as Paul Simon sometimes does, instead of do. An octave, same. Now the very end, the outro. And this is a big stretch here, especially over that. You don't need to do that. You can do something like, instead of having to hit the D there. So you don't have to do that. You can just do it like this. Your priority always is the melody, of course, even if you have to drop out some other notes. And ending with the intro again. Just like that. So some tricky bits rhythmically and with the hammer-ons, but the whole thing revolves around that vocal line. So hope this is useful to you. Let me know any questions or comments you may have, and thanks for watching.